When talking about market stats in the Glenwood Springs area, we have to be careful because we're talking about very small numbers. So the month-on-month, January 25 to January 26, the median sale price is up 11%. But the number of closed units is down 25%. The median days on market is up 16%. The median sold price per square foot is $432 a square foot, which is about 12.4% up. New listings are at 20, which is down 13% from last year. What does this all mean? This all means that the Glenwood Springs market is really a small market, and 2 or 3 people going one way or the other can influence the numbers a great deal. I often get asked if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. And the truth is, when I'm recording this right now in February of 2026, it's really a balanced market. There's 56 properties on the market in Glenwood Springs, and last month, 9 closed. If we do 56 divided by 9, 56 being the number of houses that are available on the market, 9 being how many sold last month. If 9 sold every month between now and the end of those 56 houses running out, we would have 6 months worth of inventory. And 6 months is really balanced. We say anything from 5 to 7 months is a balanced market. Anything less than 5 and you have a seller's market, more than 7, you have a strong buyer's market. The median home price for January of 2026 was $960,000, but the median home price in December was $595,000. Now that doesn't mean that home prices went up that much. It doesn't mean that someone who bought a house for $600 can now sell it for $900. That's not what that means. It just means we have such a small market with such a small sampling that these statistics can really get skewed if 1 or 2 houses sell above the median, or way high above the median, or below. In Glenwood Springs, homes typically stay on the market for about 90 days. That's not to say that if something comes up that you think is a good deal that you really like, it's going to be there 3 months later. The truth is there's kind of 2 markets. There's homes that come out on the market at the right price and they sell within a week or 2, sometimes 3. There's homes that have come out on the market well above where they should be priced, and they stay on the market for a long time. This is what changes that average of 90 days. And it's not to say that homes in the 3 million category will sell in a longer time frame. If the 3 million is appropriately priced, it's gonna go in a matter of weeks. If a home that is 900,000 is not priced appropriately, let's say it should be priced 700, it's gonna sit longer. Right now, 90 days is about how long homes sit on the market. I often get asked what neighborhoods are best for families, what neighborhoods are best for retirees, or what neighborhoods are good for investors. And those are all very separate, different types of people who want to live in a different neighborhood. What we find is that while there is no, this is good for them and that's good for them, because Glenwood is small enough that we're talking about neighborhoods that are 30, 40, maybe 50 houses, right? We're talking about smaller neighborhoods that we really need to focus on what it's close to and what you have access to. Now, retirees very often like to golf, and Iron Bridge has a golf course. Part of the HOA is a golf course, and people who are looking for a later in life golfing lifestyle, they do enjoy Iron Bridge. But that's not to say there's no families in there. They also have a swimming pool. And so people with families really like Iron Bridge because they can just send their kids up to the pool. We often find families that want to be close to school or close to other neighborhoods that have kids in them. We find a lot of kids in the South Glenwood area by the elementary school and the middle school. Those areas are great because they're still kind of walkable inside the neighborhood. So a kid can go from house to house to house to house. We see that accessibility to trails is big, and most of Glenwood Springs communities have accessibility to the walking path, to the Rio Grande Trail. And some are closer, obviously, and some have access to some decent mountain biking from the stuff that's up above the rec center. Also, proximity to the rec center is big. If you are in the core of Glenwood Springs, it's likely going to be easy for you to get to where you need to go, where your kids need to go, and for there to be a safe route for your kids to take to get there. When asked which areas have the best long-term property value growth, what we're finding is that homes that are in well-kept subdivisions, been built sometime in the 90s to the 2000s, see the biggest appreciation. You're going to see good growth on single-family homes. You're going to see good growth on homes in subdivisions that have covenants. Right now, we're at that time where a lot of homes were built in the 90s in Glenwood Springs. There's still a few of them that haven't been remodeled at all. Buying one of those and updating it is going to find a lot of value because it's 30 years old and the finishes in it are still very outdated. And a home that was built in 90s but was redone sometime in the 2010s, yeah, you can redo it, you can bring it up in value some, but it's not the same as one that was built in the 90s that has all of its old finishings in it still. For the most part, we're going to see appreciation in the Glenwood Springs area somewhere in the 2 to 3% range. This is still a very desirable area, and while other parts of the nation may see a lowering of values, Glenwood Springs is going to still see an appreciation, largely because there's still people who want to move here. There's people who want to live in the Roaring Fork Valley, and it's a valley, so there's not a lot of place to build new houses. That lack of growth of inventory leads to the value of the homes that exist going up consistently. So many people moving into the area rely on us for information about what's happening with new developments in the area. For the most part, Glenwood Springs does not have large national builders. The subdivisions that exist were developed 20 years ago. There's still vacant lots in them, and people still do build new homes on them. There are builders and there are developers, and they do build on those lots, but we don't have your KB Homes, we don't have Pulte, we don't have the big ones. So it's more one-off. Now there are subdivisions like Ironbridge that have a lot of similar product in them, but new developments are rare in this area. There is one being proposed at the bottom of Cattle Creek, which is south of Glenwood Springs, on a very, very large lot, and it would really change the nature of the Highway 82 corridor going between Glenwood and Carbondale if it does get passed. We will see. There's opposition to it right now because there's a lot of anti-growth sentiment in the area. For the most part, if you're inside the city limits of the Glenwood Springs area, you have access to shops, restaurants, and amenities like that, like the rec center. We have wonderful restaurants inside Glenwood Springs. The dining is exquisite because Glenwood is a tourist town, and people do come from outside the area to go to the restaurants and to go to the hot springs pools. So our restaurants are fantastic. Now, if you live outside of the city limits, let's say you live in Ironbridge, you have one restaurant to choose from. If, let's say, you live up on Spring Creek, you may have 10 to 15-minute drive to get to a restaurant. Same is true for Elk Springs and everything up on Missouri Heights. Those areas where you're out of town, you're going to have to drive 10 to 15 minutes to find restaurants. It's remarkable that Glenwood Springs has as high of crime rates as it does. There's not a feel, there's not the perception that we have high crime rates, but we actually do when you look at it on a scale of per 100,000 people. Largely because Glenwood Springs only has 15,000 people. So from a statistics standpoint, it doesn't take much for the crime rates to appear high. There's no areas where you really feel unsafe in Glenwood Springs. That's not to say you shouldn't lock your doors and you shouldn't lock the doors of your car. Don't leave a bicycle out on your front porch. It probably will get stolen, but that's just normal common sense. Violent crime, property crime really doesn't show up that much, despite the statistics saying that per 100,000, it's fairly high. The Glenwood Springs area and the Roaring Fork Valley have an incredible public transit system. Because we're this small, narrow valley, the bus lines follow the river. They go up the valley, but there are different bus lines that do different things and stop at different places. RAFTA, the Roaring Fork Transit Association, has incredible schedules, wonderful buses. If you're inside Glenwood Springs and you are taking the bus in and around, you don't even pay for the bus. They're frequent. They're every 20 minutes or so. I often, if I'm dropping my car off at the shop, I'll hop on the bus. And they're clean, nice buses. I take it to get back to my office. RAFTA going up to Snowmass and Aspen is a really good system. Very often when weather's bad or traffic is high, taking the bus might be the best way to go skiing. If you have teenagers that don't want to drive or don't drive yet, you can put them on the bus and send them to Snowmass from Glenwood Springs. It really is a good system. There are some buses that can actually get to Aspen faster than cars because they have very few stops. They have one stop in each town, and once you get to the Aspen Airport, they have a dedicated bus lane that lets them zoom right by all the other cars. So it is possible on heavy days to get from Glenwood Springs up to Aspen faster on the bus than in a car.